Ah, rest. Isn't it beautiful? Well, not always for us high achievers. If you're anything like me, you're actually absolutely terrible at resting. And I've got quite a few funny stories to tell you today, as well as some really simple tricks and tips, as well as tools in your toolbox of how to plan for a restful day. For me, I literally have a routine, as well as Landon and I, we have a weekend routine of the things and the elements that we have to have in place to actually know that we're filling our love bucket and accurately resting for the weekend, because we're so busy during the week. And so this has been a highly requested topic forever, perfect for the new year for you guys, and we're really, really, really excited to dive in. So with that, I'm going to teach y'all how to rest this week. Hey guys, Coach Megan here, and welcome back to this special episode of the Powerhouse Podcast. I am so excited to talk to you guys about how to have a successful day off, plan for rest, and to kind of switch up the routine from being in hustle mode constantly to really planning a routine for your rest. Now, this is something that admittedly I have had to get better and better at all the time, and hopefully I'll surprise you a little bit with a couple of the strategies. This is going to be a really short episode, and then what I think I'm going to do for this specifically, this episode is to give you guys a tool kind of template of some things to go along with it, because I think that we are so bad at this. Sometimes we just need some notes, So I'm going to kind of give a brief overview of this on this week's episode, and then I'll also make sure that we attach a little bit of a toolkit to this. So with this, let's get right into it. So the number one thing that I have found to be incredibly helpful in helping you have a successful day off and kind of planning a rest routine is, number one, you need to know bona fide border, like bottom line, you have to know what actually makes you rest. So LOL, Landon and I actually just had a fight about this yesterday and that ended in just happy tears and, great like emotional connection. It was awesome. But I was just stressed out. It was Sunday, and we are at the time of this recording, we're getting married next year. Obviously, we're looking for a house. We're gonna live together when we get married. All these things, and so we're trying to plan for the future. Right now, we're long distance, and we have to travel back and forth between each other's places all the time, and it's hectic, especially on weekends when we want to spend time together. And then at the end of the weekend, to get ready for Monday, we have to travel to and from, and you hours of your rest time having to go back and forth, right? So it's just stressful, and we're planners majorly, me specifically, and I love to know like the expectation of what's going on, and we're both very spontaneous, but like both being entrepreneurs and stuff, we work really, really, really hard, and so we need to rest hard as well. And so the number one thing that we've had to learn is to find out what makes us rest. And so again, after this little fight that we had, which again is all hilarious once you get done, I'm like, why that was really dumb of me, hilarious, like it just really makes me laugh. But one of the things that I was stressed about yesterday was about our Sunday routine. And for me, I'll attach this to number 2, is figuring out what your core values are, because that will help to really inform what helps you to rest. But for me, family is super important to me. After my faith, family is the bedrock of what fills my cup, who I want to spend time with. And I was like, babe, I really want to spend time with my family on Sundays. And he's a very regimented guy. He needs to have his set routine every day with getting ready for work. We both do, we have a productivity schedule of how we plan our weeks for work every week. We like to go to the gym, these different things. And for me, I was just like, oh my gosh, well, you have all these things that you want to do on a Sunday, and like we need to rest, and that's just going to take up the whole day, and like you can't expect all of that, and that's just too much. And how are we even going to see each other, and how are we going to rest? And I was just freaking out, right? So I knew what made me rest was being around my family. For him, he knew what made him rest was having a couple things that in all reality take like 2 hours out of the whole day, right? And for me, I was like, oh, it's going to take like 8 hours, and like we're never going to see each other. Just being emotional for no reason. And so and again, guys have blue glasses, girls have pink glasses, and you got to figure out how to make purple, or else you just talk out of both of your lens and no one actually talks to each other. And it's just a great thing for us, right? Amazing. And so long story short, we were able to identify like what helps us to rest. And I'm going to talk about that more in a second. But with that, number 2, figuring out what your core values and also your love languages are will literally change your life. So that's number 2. Um, and I say this because I was able to finally realize that because my core value is family and my number one love language is quality time, that it wasn't actually about me not wanting him to go to the gym or me not wanting him to get his routine together before a Monday, which is what he felt like I was threatening that his right to have a routine. In reality, I was really low on quality time, and I had just had a weekend intensive client there, which took my whole weekend, and I was happy to do that and had a great time. It's like my favorite thing to do as a coach, but I needed to be self-reflective of how empty my cup was, right? And that's number 3 too. Be self-reflective of where you're at, where your love tank is. So is my love tank at a 0? Is my love tank at 100? And so going back to number 2, recognizing, okay, I'm quality time. Landon's the most important person in my life. How much Landon time have I actually gotten? Okay, well then Megan, instead of questioning everything that he does or blaming him for crap that he didn't do, just own the fact that you can say, hey babe, I just want you to know that I'm speaking from a place of, I think, a really, really low love cup right now. And when you say that you want to do all these things, I'm reading that as you don't want to spend time with me. And that triggers a fight or flight mechanism on the inside of me, right? So in the same way that if someone's physical touch and they try and grab your hand and you deny them, and you're like, I don't want to be physical with you. You might not think of that as a big deal, or they go for a hug and you dodge their hug. You might not think of that as a big deal, but they feel rejected by that. And if you continuously do that over and over, then you are dipping from their love bucket and something that they're trying to do to connect with you or relax. And you basically just gave the middle finger, even though you don't feel like you are, right? So Landon and I are super passionate about like learning all these communication strategies, and I'm a nerd about all of this. You guys know that. But just being able to communicate in that way where I was like, hey, it's because my love tank is kind of empty. And I'd love to create a system where you get what you need and I get what I need, and we're both blessed by that. And so that was really, really freeing. So go to the 5lovelanguagestest.com, do a core values test. I promise you guys it will help you immensely to learn how to communicate in that way. And the number 4, the last thing that I do that really helps to set up a routine, is Landon and I learned how much of an active or passive rester that we are. So we went on a vacation to Denver earlier this year, and it was a disaster. Like we were like, yeah, we're gonna go on the boonies. It's gonna be great. We're like totally disconnect from our phones for 5 days. It's gonna be awesome. We get there and like on day 2, we're like, frick, I hate this. I totally want to go home. We hate this. We are not called here. No offense to Denver. We were like, there's no good restaurants around here. We have to drive 10 minutes, 20 minutes just to get to a restaurant. There's no people. We were in a cramped space in an Airbnb that was not big enough for us. Like, we're big people. And we were like, dude, thank God we did this vacation, because now we know what kind of honeymoon we want to have, or we need like something to do every day. We are more active resters, or we need a really comfortable home environment to be able to feel like we have the space to read and write and disconnect and whatever. And then the second part of that is, how much of an extroverted or introverted rester you are. So again, attaching that to your core values, Landon is a very like, I need my space. I need to be away from people for like at least 4 hours. And with that, he needs to get his routine done, because then he feels like he's set up for the work week, and he's worked out or he's prepped his meals, just a couple things that are staples for him. And for me, I have a shorter time frame of like getting ready for the week that I need, just the nature of how my business is set up. I don't have as many employees as him, right? And moving parts. And then for me, like, I need to be with friends or family. And then my house needs to be clean. Like, those are the staples. So I need to see my friends or family or spend quality time with Landon, because that's the way that God made me. And then with that, I need my house to be like spotless, laundry done, just certain things in order. Then I feel like I can take a breather and actually like relax and have time to get ready before the craziness of the week of being an entrepreneur, right? And so little bonus number 5, just really figuring out what your routines are when you're on, and making sure that your love tank is staying full, that you know what gives you life, that you know what kinds of things give you rest. Like, getting my nails done is not restful for me. It's not like, oh, that's self-care. Well, that's not relaxing to me. Like, someone awkwardly holding hands with a stranger for 20 minutes is like not restful for me. But like getting a massage is, or going for a walk is, or calling a friend, getting coffee with them, right? That fills my cup. So part of that is this constant dialogue with yourself, and then also having like a work startup routine that works for you, that you can fit your routines into for when you do need to be on, so that you also know how to shut down. So anyways, I'll give you guys like a little quick toolkit that goes with this. If you're in the Pageant Winner Secrets group, you guys can grab that, and we'll make sure that you guys are able to kind of help you learn how to rest, because it's super important. So that's it for this week, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.